Happy 4,000 subscribers! Thank you for the support. To celebrate, I want to show you how I make my videos and tell you about this super simple SRV process I follow to increase the productivity around my video production process. All the big YouTubers have their own formats. Some talk to the camera, while others do voiceovers and lots of beautiful B-roll,
giving the viewer visual surprises.
A good friend of mine told me that I also have a particular format in his eyes. I think what he meant was my blend of talking head, animation and screen recording. That's my format. I thought about it, then made a course about it. And now I want to share this simple 3-step process with you, so you can apply it to your work if you want, and use it as your go-to video production process if you don't have one already. Because if you don't have a solid process, you will ask yourself the same questions every time you are to create a piece of content. How to get started? What to do first? And what if I waste my time? I've spent a lot of time thinking about how to optimize my process, but I always come back to a very simple process that includes 3 components. Write a script, mark the formats, read the script on camera or into a microphone, visualize the script via animations, footage or screen recordings. That was a clip from my new course, Powerful Process, and the 3 steps I'm talking about is the secret to my powerful process. The 3 letters SRV represent the greatest guitarist of all time, Stevie Ray Vaughan. But SRV also represents the 3 steps of my production process. S stands for script, R stands for record, and V stands for visualize. So step 1 is script writing and not storyboarding, as many pick as their first step. I've skipped that step entirely, saved a lot of time by doing that, and the reason why I think the script is a better point of departure is this. You outline your entire production in text, which is a super cheap format time-wise. Each word tells you exactly what to visualize, and you get perfect timing with no dull moments in your video. You skip the storyboarding and jump straight into what you actually want to say. Your messaging, your idea. Much more important to invest your time in that than a storyboard. To kickstart your script writing, I want to give you my 3 script writing templates: the Fish, the Better World and the USP Uzi. They are blueprints for how to structure your script. Just fill in the blanks, so to say. With your script in place, it's time for step 2, recording that script. You can either choose the format where you record your script as a voiceover. Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to damage your vocal cords. Or where you record your script in front of a camera. Camera footage does take a little time to get into, but once you get the hang of it, it's a format that can save you a lot of hours where you record talking head sequences instead of having to visualize with animations or screen recordings. Not everyone likes to be in front of the camera. Maybe you don't even agree with the camera that that's the way you look in real life. But there are a few tips and tricks for how to make talking head clips look better. A good way to position yourself in the frame is what's called medium shot, where you frame your torso and up, plus a few of your surroundings. This is close enough to show your emotions and gesticulations, while still leaving room for text boxes, animations and zooms. I think it works really well to sit down in the middle of the shot, as close as possible, while still leaving a few inches of space above my head. After recording the whole script, I edit my footage super fast in iMovie or ScreenFlow by turning up contrast and saturation a tiny bit. That's it. You're now done with the first 2 steps. S for script, R for record, and now it's time to lift your video with the V for visuals. My preferred way to add a little extra visualization to my videos is animation. How do I do that? To make it easy to synchronize your animations to what you say in the video, you want to use the sound from your video as a voiceover or foundation under your animations. This also means that in this step of the process, you have to start with the video, then add animations afterwards. When you've recorded and edited your camera parts, you can export the sound and upload it to an animation tool like Beyond. Then I create animations for the sentences that are a little more complex and harder to understand, where I think animations would make them easier to understand, like this example. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants use water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight to create oxygen and energy in the form of sugar. Let's try that with animations. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants use water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight to create oxygen and energy in the form of sugar. Much better, right? Yes, much better than just watching my talking head and only understand 50% of what I'm saying. That is the very simple process. Script, record, visualize. Instead of animations, or in addition to them, I sometimes mix in screen recordings in the visualize step, when I want to show a concrete process, for example in a tutorial. And I don't do it the old way where you just push record, talk freely for half an hour, and then that's that. No, I prepare every single sentence so I know what I'll be saying first. So even though it's a screen recorded video, I write out an entire script, I narrate it into a microphone, and then I record small, silent, visual screen recording clips that I then layer on top of the voiceover, one at a time. This takes longer, but it also ensures that I've thought about exactly what I want to say, and I'll have 0 ums, 0 ahs, and 0 dull moments. Now, you might ask, how is this SRV process different from what people normally do? 3 things, as always. SRV is focused around your core message, the script, and not around fancy but random visualizations. The SRV process is planned out and information dense, not improvised and messy. And it's simple. It's not 10 steps with detailed description of every scene, shot, and angle. Again, it's centered around the core message, and then the visualizations needs to back that first and foremost. My approach to making videos this way is to a large degree made possible by the tools I use. As I am a big fan of speed and simplicity, I use fast and simple tools. My 3 go-to tools are Vyond for animations, ScreenFlow for screen recordings and video editing, and GarageBand for voiceovers. Yes, I do use more tools than those like Canva for illustrations and thumbnails, Google Docs for script writing, YouTube for subtitles, and Kajabi to host my video lessons. But the fact that I don't use Adobe After Effects, Premiere Pro, Logic Pro, advanced cameras, detailed storyboarding, and all the upgrades you could add into the mix enables a simpler and faster process. Think carefully about this so you don't buy a lot of fancy gear only to realize that it actually slows you down. My camera is 10 years old and doesn't even have autofocus. And I use screen recording software to assemble my videos. Only in the event that I don't use any screen recorded clips in my entire video would I edit my camera footage and animations in iMovie, as I think it's a simpler, faster, and more reliable tool in my experience. iMovie? If I told this to anyone, I would get laughed out of the room. I believe that the best video production process is the one that doesn't get in your way. Simpler is better. And that also applies to what my workstation looks like. One way to save a lot of time on your videos is an optimized physical setup, your workstation. 2 screens, external keyboard and mouse, and good headphones are some of the devices that I need to work efficiently. Why 2 screens? I use one screen for the real work and one for research and files. My primary screen is an external monitor with 16:9 dimensions, which is the most common aspect ratio. So when I do screen recordings, I always do it on the external screen, so the recording will look great on similar screens around the world. My secondary screen is actually my MacBook Pro. The laptop is elevated on a laptop stand, so I don't hurt my neck and back looking down on it. After a few days of sitting there, working on one video, you probably get impatient like me and just want to get it out there, published for the world to see it, right? But there is a lot of value in spending that extra hour to add some sound effects and some music. And here I'm a big believer in digital reuse. By selecting and reusing a small set of soundtracks and sound effects, you'll be able to add both sound effects and music with little effort. The main idea is to find a handful of soundtracks and 2 handfuls of sound effects that you use and reuse in all your videos. In instructional videos, the music layer generally has to be very subtle because of the voiceover we often use. If you want those handfuls of sounds and music I use, you find them in the powerful process lesson How to Reuse Sound Effects and Music Across Videos as a download. To sum up this video, I can really recommend simplifying your process and maybe even adopt my SRV process for how you script, record and visualize your videos. A clever person once said that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And if you apply that principle to your video production process, the tools you use, your gear and your workstation, you've enabled yourself to quickly move from idea to finalized video. For those of you watching who love video productivity and want to know more about how I create my YouTube videos, course lessons and tutorials, you have to check out my new course, Powerful Process. Welcome to Powerful Process, where you will learn my process for how to create and combine a number of essential video formats. Remember to leave your best production tip in the comments and, of course, to take care of yourself and those around you.